What's up, guys? I'm HFT, and I'm going to give you a rundown of the Resto Druid. Now, there's definitely certain talents you should have depending on what you're doing. So if you're doing a dungeon, if you're doing a raid, most of the time you're going to have different talents. Now, this is not a PvP video. I'm not going to go too far into PvP, mainly because if you're watching this, you want to do healing for PvE. I'll try to get a PvP video out later, but I don't PvP too often. I'd like to PvP. I'll do it occasionally on my druid, but I like to focus a lot more on PvE. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the talents, and we'll look at what you would use for a Mythic Plus first, or just a dungeon rather. So when I had a very low item level at the beginning of the expansion, I rocked Cenarian Ward. Now, for your 15 talents, Prosperity is good, but you don't get like you get 2 instant casts, but then the cooldown it might be too long. Do you know what I mean? So if you're taking a good minute long damage, you're only gonna get the 2 of the Prosperity, like the 2 of these, and then that's it. And then you're gonna be kind of like, oh shit, what do I do? Cenarian Ward is nice because it constantly keeps a bubble on the tank. Now, you don't always have to put the bubble on it. Like if someone else is taking a lot of damage, then you could put the bubble on someone else. Now, Abundance is good. I'll get back into Abundance in a minute. Abundance is really nice. So the more rejuves you put on people, the less your regrowth costs. Okay? And the more crits it does. It's really nice. To be honest, if it's almost debatable, because I would say between these two, it's hard to say, because this is nice for tanking, or when you want to keep the tank up, it's really nice. Abundance is amazing for let's go to the next one. I'll tell you why in a minute. So for your 30 talent, I always go Renew. Now remember, this is for Mythic Plus, guys. This is what you want to talent for Dungeons and Mythic Plus. Now for 30, Tiger Dash is nice. For Dungeons, I mean, you don't really need it. I use Renewal mainly because it's a free cast for you, and it's kind of like an oh shit for yourself. And it's really nice to have. It's saved my ass a million times. I like it a lot better than Wild Charge. Granted, Wild Charge gives you bear form, gives you an extra stun. You know, you could leap with Feral. It's all like, this is Wild Charge is more for questing, in my opinion. I don't know. I just don't necessarily like it. For your 45 talent, bear form is okay, but if you want to throw some extra damage, I go balance when I want to just throw in some damage, like if the boss is hard. But the problem is when you go balance and you're starting to throw like dots on like trash or the boss, you're gonna have to switch back soon, because you're gonna have to heal people. So it's kind of a lot to do that. So I just go to bear form and I just keep that as my talent. Now, for your level 60, Mighty Bash is nice. It's actually really nice. Mighty Bash is nice as a stun. That's more of a PvP thing. Mass Entanglement is really nice though for dungeons like Freehold, like when you're running across the bridge, they're chasing you, or if you accidentally pull ads, you hit your Mass Entanglement, the tank could come and save you, and you don't have a million things beating on you at once. Typhoon's nice, but it only lasts for a few seconds. Mass Entanglement can last for a long time, so I always stack Mass Entanglement. For 75, Soul of the Forest is nice. I've seen a lot of people use it. It's good, but I don't think it's the best for Dungeons or Mythic Plus. I mean that. I really don't. I mean, I'm not the best at making these guides, guys, but I've healed for a long time, and I promise you that these talents are gonna work. I promise. So for 75, Cultivation is nice, but you're gonna spend a lot of mana doing Cultivation. Believe it or not, you're gonna spend a lot, because you still have to do the rejuves, and rejuves, after doing so many, they can cost a lot. Although it's not fast spam healing, believe it or not. Tree of Life is definitely a oh shit button. Like, it really is. So this is where abundance is going to come in with Tree of Life. Now, the more rejuves you have on your party members, the better your regrowths are going to be when you're in tree. So in other words, so if you spam on everybody in the dungeon regrowth or rejuve, when you're in tree form, for each rejuvenation you have active, regrowth's cost is reduced by 6%, and the critical effect chance is increased by 6%. That's amazing. So this is a pretty good combo to have. So right before you go into tree form, you just hit everybody up with rejuve, and then you're gonna heal them for. I mean, you're gonna keep the raid alive or the dungeon alive. I'm telling you, they work really well together. I would rock those two. Now for your 90, Stonebark is pretty amazing. I always use my Stonebark right before I hit tree. So I'll pop my Stonebark. Well, pretty much I hit my Stonebark on CD all the time, but if it's up while I'm about to go tree, I always try to connect these two together. It's really nice. It gives you a nice burst heal, and it's pretty good. Now, I'm telling you, Spring Blossoms is good. Spring Blossoms is good. It's good, but over the two, I prefer Stonebark. Inner Peace, it's not really the best for Mythic Plus or Mythic or Dungeons. It's just really not. I mean, you got a 2-minute cooldown. Granted, it takes a minute off a 3-minute cooldown. It's just, there's so much going on in a dungeon and a Mythic Plus that it's just not fast enough. Like, you need to be able to get heals off faster than waiting the 2 minutes. Do you know what I mean? So definitely go with the Stonebark. You could go with Spring Blossoms. For the 100, I use Germination. I think someone just got home. Not good. I use Germination because Germination is going to be really nice with Abundance and Tree Form. You're going to have both those rejuves. Hold on. Okay, so for your 100 talent, Germination is amazing with Abundance. And it really goes hand in hand because for each one, because you're going to be able to double the rejuve. So when you go to regrowth people, or if you go to tree, I mean, you're going to do a lot of heals. I mean, it's so think about it. So you got 2 rejuves on each player, all right? So that's 12% just for one person. Then you go another 2 people, that's 24%. So think about the amount of critting you're going to do when you're in tree form, when you have Abundance and Germination. And that's like kind of like an oh shit, a lot of damage is coming off and you need to pick people up really fast. Flourish is good, but that's more for a raiding scenario. We'll get into that in a minute. Photosynthesis is actually really nice too. I'm telling you, photosynthesis is really good. Photosynthesis is really good when you stack it with Stonebark. Now, is that good for Mythic Plus? Absolutely. If you have a higher item level, like if your item level is higher, I would rock photosynthesis instead of going with Germination because my item level is 370. So normally when I do Mythic Plus, do I rock Germination? Yes. But since my item level is a little bit higher, I go with photosynthesis. But Germination works great too. Like I said, if you're at a low item level, probably Germination is going to be better for you. Because you're going to be able to stack that extra hot. And it's going to go well with tree. It's going to go well with Abundance. Photosynthesis is going to go well with tree. It's going to go well with Abundance. Now, if you're a lower item level and it's just a lot of damage, you can rock Cenarian Ward. Like, you can do it. Like, I remember when I was a lower item level, I did use Cenarian Ward. But mana-wise, you're going to save so much mana if you go with Abundance. I promise you, you're going to save a lot going with abundance. All right, so let's go look at the raids. Let's go look at the raiding talents.